It's your boy Banks, you feel me? What up, YouTube? I'm out here, you know me, no drought here. Alright, so I'm in the work attire, as you can see. I'm in the whip. Normally I'm at I'm at the residence. I'm at the crib, doing the videos and having my setup. But desperate measures calls for desperate times. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. Whatever that quote is, nigga. Fuck you mean. Don't matter. The point is I'm here, alright? I'm here. I'm ready to go. Alright, so we already know, I think it's a historic trade, you know what I mean? Obviously, Kyrie Irving got traded to the Celtics. It's basically 4 mans for 1. They got the 2018, Cavs got the 2018 unprotected first round pick from the Nets. Don't worry about that, the Celtics still got the Lakers one, but they got that pick. They got Zizic, or whatever the nigga's name is. And then you got Jay Crowder and you got Isaiah Thomas, alright? So, the question is here now, obviously, who wins in the trade? You know what I'm saying? That's what everyone's talking about. Everyone's going, the Cavs are winners. Some people are saying the Celtics are winners, you know what I mean? Like I was saying, I was about to drop my part 2 for the other video, but you already know, like, something like this happens, you gotta, there's a wrench in the plan. You gotta live in the moment, you know what I mean? The moment's what matters. So, let's dive in. Listen, a lot of people don't know, they don't know how to analyze things and they have things out of context, and they just don't know basketball, you know what I mean? If you know basketball, you know that at the end of the day, the Celtics won this trade. Now, let me stop there. Let me dive in and break it down for you, because a lot of things I'm about to say, people don't really take it in the moment. They don't really analyze until you have a nigga like me that's going to tell you the truth, because again, it's true talks. That's what I do. True talks, because truth talks. You feel me? All right, let's dive in. So, first of all, let me say this. Both teams did very well in this trade. So let's look at the pieces and let's look at why I say the Celtics have won in a better trade. Listen, people are comparing Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie cancel out. So Jay Crowder, or you add Jay Crowder and you add the other guy. But even just Jay Crowder itself is a good defensive player, the 3-and-D type of guy. Obviously, they got him there to guard Durant, because Durant was cooking the hell out of LeBron, and that's gonna alleviate some pressure off of LeBron. Obviously, they can go small ball. They can do that Draymond Green type of lineup. They can even put LeBron at the center if they want to, because now they have multiple guys. You add Derrick Rose, there's still Shumpert. They have a lot of 3-and-D guys. There's a lot of things that they have, but don't get it twisted. You can't just play like Golden State's the system. The Golden State system doesn't have a ball handler necessarily. They have guys who just get buckets, and they have a system that just makes the ball just move. And they have and they have good shooters and guys who can do multiple things. LeBron just holds the ball and he wants to hold the ball. You know what I'm saying? So that's not the same system. But anyways, forget about that. You look at it now from a standpoint of people are looking at it that Isaiah, Kyrie cancel out. Jay Crowder comes in, 3-and-D, and this is a great improvement. You can do multiple things with him, and I like Jay Crowder. But now let's just look at, don't get it twisted. Isaiah Thomas is elite. He's a good player, but let's do some history. And let's look at the context and situation versus situation. Isaiah Thomas ain't no damn Kyrie. You better get that out of your mind right now. For you to downplay Kyrie, first of all, Isaiah Thomas is 5'9". He's done a lot for his size, and probably out of his size is the best guy for his size ever in the history of the NBA. But don't get it twisted. When he was with Cousins and he was in a lower role, he was always getting buckets, but that's been the question about him. That's why people are like, because of the way he scores. You know what I'm saying? The way he scores, he doesn't really ISO. He does not really ISO. It's a lot of pick and roll, and he doesn't make the right decision to pick and roll. He kind of pick and rolls to kind of score. He does the same thing as DeRozan, but in a better way, because he needs a lot of space. And if you see him even running pick and rolls with Al Horford, it's a lot of those in and outs, kind of trying to split, doing pull-ups, shooting threes. He attacks the paint. He can finish at the paint for a small guy, which is great. But he doesn't really pass well out the pick and roll. A lot of times you see Al Horford roll and he just passes out to the corner. He does the and then resets and does the same thing. He doesn't really score off of ISO. He needs a pick every time to score. He kind of does sometimes off mismatches, but it's not his actual asset. His asset is a lot of pick and roll and just kind of situational scoring. And that's already what LeBron does. And that's why LeBron succeeds and he thrives off of people who are opposites from him, especially scoring wise. LeBron, they're kind of those guys who are labeled scorers because of stats, but they're not the traditional scorers that get buckets. The traditional scorers that get buckets are like Kyrie, like Wade, etc. Those are the guys that no matter what, they have no weakness offensive when it comes to scoring. No weakness offensively when it comes to scoring. They just get buckets, however. And that's what Kyrie is, and that's what Wade was for LeBron, and a proven closer. Isaiah Thomas is a closer, but he's not on the level of Kyrie. And also, like I said, he can't really score an ISO that well. You put a good defender on him, it's a lot of pick and rolls, and he gets shut down. Also, too, he has the injury lingering with him. So there's a lot of ifs with him. Also, too, you can't look at IT and his scoring numbers that he had in Celtics and compare it to Kyrie and say that he's a better scorer or whatever. If you really know basketball, Kyrie is one of those scorers that come once in a blue moon. You know what I'm saying? You see that eclipse that just happened? Kyrie's them type of breeze. You don't see it often. You don't see it often. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen every day. The amount of players who play basketball, that type of guy, you don't see often. Okay? Now, don't get it twisted. Kyrie averaged 25 points, basically 26, and 6 assists, playing with LeBron, not even ball dominant, not even dribbling the ball as much as he wants to dribble the ball. So imagine you put him in a situation that IT had. You better listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, Kyrie could average 35 in his sleep. You better ask somebody. This is a nigga who's gonna get, and he does it, and it's not that, listen, he did it at 40% clip from 3, which is great from 3. And almost 50% from the field. For the type of shots he takes, you gotta understand something. Like, this nigga Kyrie is a problem. Now you put him in a situation where IT once was, and he hasn't even entered his prime. Look at Steph Curry, look at Durant, all those guys when they enter their prime. Westbrook, it's around 27, 28. That's entering your prime. And it goes to maybe 31, 32 if you're nice, but it's normally 26 to 31 is the prime years. The peak of the prime years is 27 to 30, 27 to 30-ish is the prime years. The peak, where it's just buckets. Kyrie is 25, bro. You have him for 2 years, and then now you could re-sign him for the prime. Do you understand? You guys, people don't understand that when you have that is an automatic win, as opposed to IT going there and he could leave next season. LeBron is basically still, no matter what, going to leave next season because he had Kyrie and he went less with Isaiah. He's still going to leave. You know what I mean? That's why he created this situation. That's why you can see him saying thanks to Kyrie. He knows that what the media thinks of Kyrie is not what actually is happening with Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? That's not what actually is happening with Kyrie. He knows what it is. All right. So let's get that out the window. All right. Nigga, pull up beside me. You get that out the window. Now let's actually analyze the Celtics. Okay. The Celtics, roster wise, other than Al Horford. Al Horford is I still like him because he can play, he can do other things. But you have Kyrie. Okay. You have Gordon Hayward, who is nice. Don't get it twisted. Obviously, he's not the LeBron or he's not those type of caliber, but he is nice. All right? Don't get it twisted in any way, shape, or form. Gordon Hayward is nice, and they're gonna be a nice duo. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. And also, too, it's less pressure for Gordon Hayward because he would have to be like that Durant type of player. He doesn't have to anymore because Kyrie gets buckets. Gordon Hayward could do all the other things and cut and all kinds of stuff and spot up. He can still get his ISOs, but Kyrie, scoring wise, we don't have to worry because Kyrie is a willing passer too. He has the ability to pass. You can see that he has the ability to pass. It's just that, do you understand? Westbrook had 10 assists. Westbrook isn't an elite passer. He's a situational passer. He realized if I get double, and I can just hit man. I get buckets, and then man's going to double me, I can hit man. You're going to guaranteed get high assists off of that if you're the main focus. So Kyrie's that type of guy too. Kyrie's going to average around 7-8 assists easy in his sleep just by getting buckets like that, and he's a willing passer. You have guys like Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jay Crowder goes, and people are like, oh, they lost. Jaylen Brown is an elite version of Crowder and a younger version of Crowder. That's what Jaylen Brown is. He just never had the opportunity. Jaylen Brown is that type of guy. He's great defense. He's going to now learn because he made little mistakes with angles on defense, but he has the weight. He has the strength. Great defense like Crowder, body built like Crowder, but more athletic than Crowder. Can shoot the 3. He hasn't proved that he can shoot it like Crowder, but he hasn't had the opportunity as well. But that's what his goal is going to be a Crowder, and he can still get buck. You can see this a 1-2 step back. He still has the ability to actually be an offensive threat. Not Crowder, that Crowder never was. Now you have a nigga like Tatum. Tatum is a Durant, Paul Pierce in one type of nigga. That nigga, that nigga Durant doesn't really post. That nigga Tatum's already posted in summer league. You know what I mean? Like, Tatum is a nigga who is nice. Don't get it twisted. That nigga is nice. He doesn't have the range like Durant, but he can get buckets and he's a shot creator type of guy. That's Tatum. You know what I'm saying? So you have just buckets galore with those guys. You know what I'm saying? And don't people are sleeping on Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris is one of the most slept on pickups during this offseason. You replaced him for Kelly Olynyk. That is a plus. That is a plus guaranteed. And Amir Johnson, that's what you replaced. Listen, I'm telling you now, and they can go small. You can put Morris at the center if you want to. Al Horford even there. You can put Tatum, Brown, and you have Gordon Hayward, Tatum, and Brown. With Kyrie, that's 4 spots filled for when they do that Draymond fast stuff. You put Al Horford, you could put Marcus Morris there. You still got Aaron Baines who gets rebounds. I would say for them to threaten Golden State, they need like a big kind of like a DeAndre Jordan or that type of big who's just rim protector and just get rebounds, because Al Horford isn't that. But don't get it twisted. Al Horford in the pick and roll and pick and pop in. It's gonna be nice. They're you don't really need to compare them to Golden State. Golden State's gonna win. You have to compare them to Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't have that DeAndre Jordan. They have a Tristan Thompson and Al Horford, same type of size, undersized. You know, they could battle. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And then K-Love versus Marcus Morris, or if you put Tatum there, we already know for the way they make K-Love play, the Celtics win that. Overall, Celtics won this because of the situation that Kyrie's going into and what Kyrie's context is, as opposed to Isaiah Thomas and their context is. People are just looking at the numbers and you're not understanding the context. Isaiah Thomas averaged those numbers by himself. You get what I'm saying? If you just type in full highlights on Isaiah Thomas and full highlights on Kyrie Irving, you'll see what I'm talking about. Isaiah Thomas is bare pick and roll. You're not doing that with LeBron. LeBron has the ball in his hand. He's hitting you in the corner, and when he's trying to do stuff, nothing's going on and you get it, it's let me get buckets. You can't be calling for another screen off another screen off another screen. That's too many screens. Then you have Derrick Rose who's ball dominant. You know what I'm saying? If they play the 1-2 together, IT's not spotting up like that. And he's a liability hella on defense. You got to understand something. IT is nice, but for the system, IT's best. That's why it's been a question. IT has always been there and been able to get buckets. You know what I'm saying? And he's always been able to get buckets with whatever teams he's been on. But that's been the question, is the best situation for him to thrive in is him ball handling. Because him off ball, he gets it and he's basically playing like a 6-man type of guy. You know what I'm saying? And Kyrie wasn't a 6-man type of guy. It was the type of mentality where the 6-man just worries about scoring. Yes, that's what it was, but he was a Wade. This nigga, they both averaged 27 in the finals. And Kyrie's was bare ISO. LeBron's wasn't. And LeBron and Kyrie was close. Anytime you need that nigga in the clutch, Kyrie's the best closer in the game. Him and Durant. And then Curry, I would say, is right there. And then there's Melo, you know what I mean? But from what we see and what you guys see, clutch situation is Kyrie, Damian Lillard, and Durant. Those 3. And then Steph is a little bit there because Steph doesn't create it like that. He kind of gets it when it comes. He's running offenses in the clutch. He's not just ISO and give me the ball. He doesn't really do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to tell you, man. Bro, shit's hot, bro. I'm trying to tell you something, man. This is why the Cavs did not win the deal, okay? The Celtics won, and you guys will see. Kyrie Irving is about to destroy this league. I'm trying to tell you something. This is Uncle Drew. You know what I mean? He ain't Uncle Drew for a reason. He ain't Uncle Drew for no reason. He's about to destroy this league. You gotta look. Not only is Kyrie going into that situation like he is, and he's not even entered his prime, but also look at it like this. Think of it from this perspective. Kyrie wanted a situation like John Wall, Damian Lillard, and Russell Westbrook. Okay? That's the kind of situation that he wanted. And you look at all those 3 type of guys, Kyrie is the best scorer amongst those guys. He is. It's just, he gets buckets, bruh. He is the best type of scorer and the most clutch. Damian Lillard's close, there's whatever. But at the end of the day, he is the best scorer out of those guys in that type of situation. Not only that, he has the best team. Those guys are elite point guards as well. But they only have one other guy who gets buckets like them. Or gets buckets like that, period. Russell Westbrook only has George. Damian Lillard only has McCollum. John Wall only basically has Beal. Look at what Kyrie is going into. Kyrie is the most elite scorer out of all of them. And He has Gordon Hayward, and he has Tatum, and he has Horford. He has multiple guys who can score. Multiple. My final take is the Cavs did not win the trade. They had a good trade for the best. They had the best trade for the situation they had. They definitely had the best trade they could get for that situation that was created. But they did not win the trade versus the Celtics, because the Celtics, for the context of what it is that Kyrie's going into, not only with the killer mentality and the mentality he's got something to prove already of being a beast, and he's only 25 and he's not even in his prime. Understand this, he's not in his prime, people. And you have Gordon Hayward that's there, and they have a young core. Bruh, listen, that team's set up not only for now to go to the conference finals, which I believe they will, but they also set up for the future, which is to continue that with this trade. Danny Ainge, he's a smart one. Only bad thing is that Isaiah's got to go after he's put a lot of sweat and blood and tears into it, but it's the nature of the business. I'm out, it's your boy Banks. Get it.